Stardate, November 10th, 2000. Bear Track Studios, Suffern, New York. We're here at Bear Tracks. The whole gang's here. Hey, guys.
Hello, everybody.
And we're here to watch Scenes from a Memory live in New York with you. Let's go around the room so you could understand and recognize everybody's voices.
This is John Petrucci over here.
And this is James Labrie.
Hey, this is John Young.
This is Jordan Rudis.
And this is Mike Portnoy, drummer, and also the director of the video we're about to watch. And here we are. We're at Bear Tracks. This is actually the last time the five of us will be together in the year 2000. And, ooh,
That's nice.
the Flaming Apple.
The Flaming Apple.
And we're also here with Doug Oberkirkers. Say hi, Doug.
Hi.
Hi.
Doug recorded the Scenes from a Memory album with us. And so it's kind of come full circle. This is where we made the album, and now this is where we're going to sit back and reflect on its final performance in New York.
That's right. And we're actually sitting down right now in a room that has just been completed. It's right next to the studio.
I got news for you. You're sleeping here tonight.
This is it.
Right, buddy.
The luxurious, spacious Bear Track studio in Suffern, New York.
Guys, I think I hear the ticking of the clock. Here we go.
Okay.
I think I was in the bathroom at this point.
This is when the show actually starts. This is the first image that the audience sees on the screen. Bring the music into the back. And there we are.
I'm getting nervous just sitting
Me
here.
too. I feel like we're back there.
We played this concert so many times that it's like a trigger. What do they call that with the dogs when they
I
whistle?
feel like I forgot to warm up.
Yeah. My hands are clammy.
You're right.
I love that shot there. It really sets the...
It's good.
The
The mic
vibe.
stand is good.
Good mic rapping.
And there's Nicholas.
Hi, Nicholas.
Hey, Nick.
Hello, my friend.
Nicky. And there's Kent Bratwurst. What's his name?
I
Bratwurst.
don't know. You got to look at the credits to find out.
He's our hypnotherapist.
That's right.
I think you'll notice what happens is when the guitar comes in, I think it hits him a little bit hard, and he starts to talk a lot louder and a lot faster.
I think this was his very first rock concert ever.
He wasn't
He was
ready.
flipping.
He's trained to project.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he stands up and runs off.
Into a more relaxed state of mind.
Now, Nicholas was in Denmark, as the rest of us were in New York.
That's why he had to project.
Now, this is actually the only image. We actually had different film footage on the first U.S. leg of Scenes. And this is the only image that was actually brought over into the new footage, the trees and the sky spinning.
Slow down, Ken. It's okay.
Yeah, he's speeding up to keep up with John now.
Yeah. Now we hopefully planned this sync so that when he was done, I'd be on my last chord leading into the opening. It worked out pretty good.
One. You even nod your head to make sure that
Yeah.
he'd be done.
Exactly. I used extra polish on my guitar that night.
There's the spinning trees again. This is the first shot of Jordan coming up. Hi, Jordan.
Hello.
Big smile on his face. And John says something there. What? You whispered something there. Do you know what that was?
I think I was singing along to the words.
Maybe a Japanese Godzilla sync. I don't know. What lyrics were you singing?
I was singing the alternate lyrics, safe in the ass that surrounds me. That was the first draft.
You look like you're getting into the vibe, though.
Now, I actually consciously did not. There's a camera above you, James. There was a whole. Oh, there's the first shot of Victoria.
Hello, Victoria.
There was a camera above me?
Yeah, and there was a lot of footage of you actually singing this, but I thought it would be cooler to not actually show you, to keep it more like a scene
Right.
and not James Labrie singing. And so you made your big entrance for Strange Deja Vu.
Yeah, that's actually the first time that chord progression theme appears on the record. You're going to hear it many more times.
There's
that was
Nicholas
the-
and Victoria mixed together.
Oh, they're mixed, all right.
Yeah. Big rock show.
Oh yeah.
And they're off and running.
I don't know if you guys remember. You remember how hot it was that night?
Oh, it was really, really
extremely hot.
You
Yeah.
could actually see the sweat like on the keyboards and stuff later on in the show. All the gear is soaking wet.
Right.
Well, after 4 hours of playing, I mean,
Yeah, but even off from the beginning. I mean, 2 songs in, drenched.
oh,
Yeah, we were definitely hot.
we were pumped.
One of the riffs from the, we're very close to one of the riffs from the original.
96 version of Metropolis too.
They're kind of thrown
Make
in.
that
thrown
clear.
in
Very
there.
close.
I believe I taught Jordan this lead. Yeah. This was the
Come on, John, you weren't supposed to say that. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Split screen action. This is the first of many, many split screen. First Metropolis Part 1. Serious reference
Vocal melody, obviously.
from the end of the first Metropolis. It's my first Luger of the night.
We call him the camel.
No, the llama.
The llama. Camel would mean you'd have a hump of water on your back.
My great grandfather on my mother's side was a llama. That's where I got my spitting technique. Now, you music scholars will notice that this is actually the chorus of Strange Deja Vu. Out of my head, to my heart. Maybe that's obvious, but maybe some other people didn't realize that that was one of the themes to come later. This is the One Last Time theme. A much faster version.
I would like to say some of our audiences, especially in Europe, sing this incredibly loud when we play it live. I think especially in Italy.
Oh man, Italy's the loudest.
Yeah.
They usually don't sing this part, though.
No.
The images you're seeing on the right are the actual Bert Cam images. Bert is our keyboard and video tech, and he's the one that does all the projections on the screen, and occasionally we actually use the actual live video switch from the screen and put it into this final cut.
I think the best thing about having a bunch of people out every night is the smell.
And here comes the Canuck.
I have to watch out because sometimes he runs into me. You're coming in from that side. And sometimes I'm stepping back and you're coming up.
I think it's whenever I go to grab my mic stand.
Right.
We're bumping in.
Some serious strobe action here. Some kids in China having some seizures
Yes.
because of this scene right here, so be careful when you watch this.
And this riff also from the original 96 version.
By the way, your TV is not fuzzy. Those images are purposely blurry because right now, at this point in the story, these are just images from a dream. You know, he keeps having these dreams of the past, but it's not entirely clear what the hell he's dreaming about yet.
Actually, Bert and I spent a whole afternoon extracting those images from the original cover with Photoshop.
Cool. Rude is going up for the double left-hand action.
Right. Actually using his left hand in a rock
Right.
band.
You've got a great left hand, Jordan.
Oh, thank you, baby.
Before the show, John Mayung did about 50 push-ups, probably. How many did you do?
I think it was 100.
100 push-ups.
And
before
how
the
many
show.
after?
That was it.
We were eating calamari after.
I was puking afterwards.
That's right.
And if anybody's...
No, actually, we didn't eat any food after.
Oh,
our,
that's right.
our room got
Yes.
raided.
I would like to bring that up. I specially ordered chicken franchise and penny alla vodka, and there was none of it. Thank you very much.
There's Victoria. Now, we're talking about the after show at Roseland. This was the first of 2 sets that we played that night. We played about 4 hours, and it nearly killed me, this show. I was almost put in the hospital after this, and
You were out.
unfortunately there was no footage of me puking. The cameramen were not letting the dressing room, but it really would have been a really... I was hoping, if anything, that I was going to die, because it would have been a great swan song. But Didn't happen.
And that shows you just how much the band hangs out after the show. I didn't even know Mike was sick and dying in the other room. We're just like a few feet away from each other, and then I'm told this 2 days later that Mike was brought to the hospital.
Almost right. I didn't go. And I didn't get to eat any of their Carmines either. This is perfectly sums up the band. You know, there's a gig going on here, but yet we're just talking about food.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all we ever think and talk about.
Yeah.
What's it going to be tonight, fellas?
There's the first stick toss that I missed.
Now this
Nice close-up of John on the screen there.
This is a big riff that JM came up with.
That's right. This is like the rockin' section.
Yeah. There's a couple of really big ones.
Right.
This is one of them.
When JM speaks, we listen.
It's rocking.
There's Nicholas waking up.
There's the rock pose, right on.
James' hair is in his eye.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Gets him in the mood. I don't know if any of us realized how rockin' this riff was going to be live when it came out. It's a good one.
Oh, we originally wanted to make this an instrumental section with a solo on top. We were going to
Right.
bring it back later. We never got around to it.
Well, here's the
Right.
C-sharp minor change. This is like the Trower
Yeah,
bit, right?
total Trower.
King reminds me of King's X.
Reminds me of Stevie
Oh,
Ray Vaughan.
definitely.
It's a little faster than they would usually play it. Half speed might be Trower.
On the record, for all your guitar players, I actually used the middle position coil on the guitar to give it a sort of Stratty type sound.
It's a typical Dream Theater with
Little vocal
skip a beat
improv
there.
there.
A little vocal improv. I wanted to taste the air. If you notice, my tongue flipped out.
By the way, Jose is the 6th member of Dream Theater in this
Yeah.
video. He is completely in this video. And then that camera
And
guy
was
is
he
the
aware
7th
of that
member.
all night?
Yeah, his excuse is that he had to swing my mic, but I think he was really.
I'm wondering if
ready
it
to
made
pose.
him nervous, like if he didn't know what to do with himself or if he forgot some cues. You know?
Just to catch everybody up on the story. So Nicholas is our...
Look at that. I'm not even done first song and I'm sweating.
And you're eating your hair. I bet you can't wait to get that out of your mouth.
Oh, I like eating my hair.
Oh, by the way, before John gets into the story, my background, Kevin Shirley didn't put my background vocals in this mix
Yeah.
for this song.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you
really?
actually, yeah, they're missing from
Yeah,
this track.
wow.
So you can actually see me
Sing 'em now.
singing.
Give us a little taste,
Yeah.
man.
Where's my heart? I forgot the word. That was Strange Deja Vu. So there's the
There he is trying
there's me
it.
singing, but you can't hear it.
Yeah. So Nicholas is our main character. Opening scene, he's brought into a hypnotic regression to try to find out what the meaning of his dreams are. And of course, he's dreaming about his past life persona, which is Victoria. Now, in this song, this is the first time that he kind of expresses how he relates to Victoria.
What you're seeing here is the first of many graveyard sequences to come, and each one of them is slightly different from the other. This is the first time you're seeing it. It's very blurry. It's black and white. Basically, these are straight out of his dreams. He keeps dreaming of these images, and you're getting closer and closer to a tombstone or a gravesite or whatever. And
Not the pizza.
Does anybody know where this grave site is, actually?
I think it's in Copenhagen. All of the live action stuff was shot in Denmark. I don't know if it was actually Copenhagen, but big props and shout out to Casper who shot this footage for us, and
Right.
and he did it all in Denmark. So that's Nicholas, and he fades into Victoria.
Musically, this is the same theme that's used in Through Her Eyes, thus Through My Words.
Should also point out that James invented a new word on that last verse. We're layering one eternity.
That's right. You know.
And he knew it
Little
right there.
improv. Oh,
That's
yeah,
where he
I
knew it,
did.
folks.
I did. I was like, shit.
Yeah, but there's proof that James did not overdub any of his vocals. That's the real McCoy there.
Well, there'll be more proof of that throughout.
Now, this is the point where JM lyrics come in. The original lyrics had something about green ghosts and goblins, but we won't bring that up right now.
There's your Kurzweil endorsement.
James is on the couch right there, by the way, in case you can't tell from the setting of the show.
Now, there were originally vocals over this section, but we took them out
I sense the need.
on the album. They're not there anymore.
And then this is extended. This is a bit of a live extended section.
Oh, yes.
quest begins today.
We weren't going to actually do that extension, but then we found out in rehearsals we needed time to get James off the couch. Or the coach.
Couch, yeah.
Coach.
How about the Chesterfield?
Big harmony section.
Very Inspector Gadget type riff.
Yeah, we were thinking Queen on this. I probably noticed that.
Totally.
Now the Nicholas, knowing that he did have a past life, tries to find out more about her, and he's met an old man in his neighborhood.
Rock pose number 1.
Yes.
And here's rock pose 2.
You see many of that. What about the arm? Did we see the arm yet?
Yeah, right in Overture, I believe.
Okay.
You can eat my ass and balls.
You can eat my ass and balls.
You can eat my ass and balls.
Towards the end of the tour, that's what it was every night.
Brian May. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Jordan's first. Here's Brian May. Jordan Rudess action figure.
And all the era keyboardists play that part too.
So Nicholas finds out that Victoria did, in fact, die a very mysterious death. She was murdered. So here's where the story gets interesting.
Wasn't interesting up till now.
Right. It was
The rest-
only
up to here is just filler.
exactly. So now it's a mystery. He must try to find out how she was murdered.
Some crazy psychedelic effects coming up. Here you go. Children in China, make sure to put on your eye goggles.
Are you talking about the Pokemon thing with
The kids that have the seizures.
I was in Japan. I
Oh,
think.
Japan. Okay.
That's cool, Mike.
I think it was Pokemon.
That looks really cool.
Let me tell you something. Each one of these, anytime you see a split screen or every one of those type of effects, you wouldn't believe how long they take to render. Me and Chris, the editor, would watch an entire Tom Green episode just for that one sequence right there, just while it was rendering. It really takes an incredibly long time.
And that was an added keyboard part, right, Jordan?
Well, that was on the original.
that's right.
Right.
Kevin, it was originally on the first and second time, and Kevin Shirley suggested losing it the first time around, but we... get up there! What was it? Oh, and then you just put it in the live version.
Yeah,
Right,
and the
right,
whole
right.
concept of doing that choir part was done actually at the mix. We had
The Megadeth section.
Yeah. The Shrink and Grow. The infamous Shrink and Grow.
I think this is my first break right now. Wiping the sweat off my hands.
I wish I had unbuttoned one more button, but it really bothers me. Jordan, you're playing in 4/4 here?
That's right, playing in 4/4.
We're in 6, I believe.
This is the part where we all have to concentrate a little bit, keep it
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, this took a few nights on tour before it was comfortable. For me, at least.
This is your chromatic scale.
Pretty confusing section.
Some nights we mess up the background. The guy who's soloing gets really, really
Yeah.
messed up.
And I think people should know too that we did the night before this show. We did a full-out show as well. We did 2 sets and played 4 hours, almost.
But then you step on the sustain pedal.
Yeah, right.
I never knew you did that. It looks really weird.
What a phenomenon.
And John, what's that little symbol on your bass inlays?
You don't know? It's an infinity symbol.
Well, I knew that. I just
Just sharing.
I'm setting you up for the.
Now this was cool to cut. I
Yeah.
kept guitar and keyboards up there the entire time, and then alternate between bass and drums on the bottom.
Cool.
You could really watch everybody. I wanted to use split screens as much as possible because there's so much going on in some of these busy sections. It was hard to choose who to show.
Right.
So this way you could just, the viewer can choose whoever they want to watch.
Yeah, I think AC/DC has the same problem.
Yeah, we took this riff from an AC/DC album.
It actually is very AC/DC. Like, it's just kind of sped up a bit.
You're right, because you're using the open string
Right.
like that.
Kent missed his cue
Right.
here. That wasn't supposed to have been extended like that. Jordan was improvising,
Right.
working around Kent's
That's right.
missed
I
cue.
would have played that chord all day.
Isn't that Captain Stubing?
All right.
Now John's about to do his best Scott Ian impersonation.
That's it.
Scott when he had hair.
Yeah.
Right. You can't see his face. There you go.
This riff in 5/4 for
Where are
anybody
you,
who
John?
didn't
Come
notice.
back. He's lost.
Whereas Fatal Tragedy was our Inspector Gadget ripoff, this is our Mission Impossible ripoff.
There's a good one. Good face.
This song is probably the most interesting musically.
You know, I don't know why I'm remembering this on this section, but it was our first show out in Phoenix, and when we were doing this song here, I came up singing it. I think you'll recall it too.
That's cool.
Do you remember the guy standing in front of us, but he was a transvestite? The
What?
very first show,
Oh
he
my
was dressed
God.
up as a girl.
Let me interrupt for one moment. This is the first time we really dig into the story now with concept footage. This song really starts to dig into it, and basically the lyrics to this, well, maybe you should tell it, John, but basically it's giving you the newspaper's account of what happened. And so the footage you're seeing is what went into the history books in terms of the story.
Everything except for the choruses is written as if you were reading the newspaper. It's like a newspaper report.
So newspaper reported that a witness found the scene of the crime. The witness was Edward, the older brother. He walked onto the scene of the crime, saw a dead girl. Standing by her that's actually Edward.
Transvestite.
That's Edward's brother. That's Julian, and that's actually Casper. That's the guy that shot this footage. That's actually him. So Edward tries to stop him, and Julian turns the gun and kills himself.
By the way, don't wear this shirt to your children's school. What was it, Jordan?
Yes, I made the mistake of wearing this newspaper shirt to my daughter's dance class.
Right.
The other mothers in the neighborhood completely freaked out.
Murder, young girl killed.
What is that? Last time I wear this in the suburb.
Now, lyrically, we get a little more metaphysical here.
Let's get metaphysical.
The delicate flutes.
It's basically saying that what you've done in your past influences what you are now. Basic belief of reincarnation. Notice how the music also changes gears. So that's purposeful. Is that a word, purposeful? On purpose.
We'll look it up after the session.
Music and lyrics match up.
This riff, by the way, also reminds me not only of Mission Impossible, but of Paranoid Android by Radiohead. So there's some Radiohead influence on this
Yeah.
one. And look at that.
Look at that.
That's
Look
cool,
at that
man.
finger work.
By the way, this is a very difficult thing to play on the guitar. And that's a harmonizer doing the harmony. It wasn't overdone.
This is when we strung John Mayung upside down from the front truss.
It's his Tommy Lee trick.
It's a little Kansas thing.
By the way, this part's rocking.
Oh.
So lyrically, this is telling about Julian becoming starting to talk about his bad streak, right?
Yeah, he basically, it's still the newspaper reporting, but Julian and Victoria were an item, but they kind of fell apart because Julian had some bad gambling habits and things like that. So they're trying to, in the newspaper, they're trying to report a reason why he would do it.
I found a note in the killer's pocket. Well, there it is.
Yeah.
Spider fingers.
Yeah.
That's a cool sound. I love that keyboard sound.
Yeah.
There's a really important vocal harmony here that's missing because I couldn't play the same part and sing it
life away, but
With losing you.
Very cool harmony.
That's nice.
This is very Radiohead to me, I think.
For those of you bootleg collectors, some of these themes were introduced during John's guitar break while in Japan on the
Yeah.
Falling Into Infinity tour. So
Yeah.
if you have a bootleg of some of the Falling Into Infinity Japanese shows during the guitar solo, you can hear a few of these themes. Now we go into the Jesus Jones D major section.
That's right.
The happy section.
Anybody remember Jesus Jones? This is our homage to them.
And that's our All Good People background.
Yep.
All we are saying is give peace a chance.
I wonder if Jesus Jones used half diminished chords though. That one.
There's a great crowd shot.
Yeah.
And the crowd was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
People from all over the world
Oh, man.
came to see us that night. It was magical, definitely.
Now you're about to hear how this riff, the feel was changed. Notes are the same, but we completely changed the feel of the riff.
What goes into 6?
It's very heavy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2,
I'm
3, 4,
probably
5,
wiping
6.
the sweat off my keyboards,
Very chunky.
getting ready to
Chunky
play a
Monkey.
lead.
We like to always admit our influences, and this is definite Pink Floyd Money.
Yeah, the
solo
Money Jam.
section.
You see the sweat starting to.
What kind of things are you thinking about, Jordan, while you're doing this?
He's thinking about the Carmine's food after.
Not supposed to give that away, man.
Very, James very much on the stage this tour, I
Yeah.
must say, playing along with us, which is cool.
I'm
It was fun.
I'm thinking, I hope I play this right. We're videotaping. For those of you who don't know the little sliding thing I'm doing above the keyboard, it's a ribbon, which can, in this case, bend the pitch. And I can also use the little wheel that I keep on moving.
Cool. This
a
is definitely the
bird cam.
stripper section.
This is like Edgar Winter meets. By the way, check out this. There's a very cool shot of Jordan coming up here. Next shot right here.
That's great. I love that. Wow, it's cool.
This is very like Frankenstein, right?
Yeah. Totally.
This was a Jordan riff, I believe, if I remember correctly.
It's in a blues format,
Yeah.
except we mess with it a little bit where the 5 chord should be. Cool drum doubling.
Thank you very much. Who came up with that first? Is that on the album or is that a live
No,
thing?
that's a lifetime.
Oh, I'm thinking of the one in Home where I did it on the drum tracks and then you doubled
yeah,
it.
Then I doubled.
This was a John Mayung riff, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly, right?
Right.
It's very big Zappa section.
Now
This is
part,
Tommy Mars.
This part actually came about, as far as the keyboard, from an assignment that Mike gave me to get this Tommy Mars kind of Zappa approach.
I remember playing, I think it was the solo from, what's the first song on Tinseltown Rebellion? Easy Meat, I think. I played you that over the phone, Tommy Mars solo.
You know, when I put this part together, I was thinking, how the hell am I going to play this live? Because it's got all these very strange chords in succession. But I guess after playing it about 1,000 times, I finally got comfortable.
Now the Zappa reference goes a step further here.
It's a big unison
This
section.
is
Like
crazy.
unison. I remember sitting in the living room of Bear Track Studio with JP, going
Yeah.
nuts on a Zappa vibe.
Also very difficult to play. Exact.
If you go to the Burt Cam, there's a real cool split screen there.
Little trill exercise right there.
And by the way, we continue with the Zappa kind of sound here. This is just,
You should have used an
More
SG on this section.
yeah.
Now the next part, you have to be very warmed up to play. Here we go.
And
Let's see
this
how we
next,
did.
we actually used the actual Burt Cam for this next section because it came out pretty cool.
This is an exact unison.
And look, it looks like
Tiffany
John's
herself.
actually pointing. Like it was framed
yeah.
perfectly.
That's right.
great.
We got a little interjection there. Now we go into harmony.
You can't win them all.
That was fine.
There is the live factor.
Yes. We are not machines.
Sweat starting to accumulate on the bass now.
Yeah.
Getting a nice vibrato there, Johnny.
Thanks, Drew.
Big vibrato.
I like that.
Typical Dream Theater songwriting format. We have revisited the earlier choruses, but now it's
That's right.
kind of heavy and
Yeah, reorchestrated.
reorchestrated.
That's right.
Nice string line there.
Why, thank you. These are psychedelic visuals.
Looks like fireworks. And a very slight image of John in the background mixed in.
I think I was distorting my input there. Some crackling.
Now, this is the second appearance of the graveyard sequence, just to reintroduce the storyline back again. And actually, the upcoming song has a lot to do with the cemetery and Nicholas finally making the connection.
By the way, this duet between guitar and voice was not rehearsed. We didn't have any time to rehearse it, so it is quite improvised.
We're actually discussing this backstage before the
Yeah.
show, how we were going to do it.
Right.
I had my little, Radio Shack keyboard out, and I was in the choir's dressing room and discussing the whole issue. Ooh, yeah, baby.
These images are slightly clearer than the previous ones, and now we get a step closer.
Teresa.
Yes.
Yeah, man, she ruled.
That's cool.
That's a Burt Cam shot.
Looks like a slow-mo vibe.
Yeah.
Man, she's just, I mean, she was doing this stuff on the spot, and that's the way she did it on the album, too.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff you hear on the album, she just came in and,
All improv.
first take.
Right.
Now we're kind of trading off here a little more. Hopefully.
I actually discovered Teresa playing with the Paul Winter consort, and she blew my mind so much that when we went into our project, oh baby, I told the guys we got to have this singer come in.
Now, for those of you who aren't there, Teresa's actually above. She's behind me, above my
On the amp.
cabinets.
This was I wish we thought of this before the show. I mentioned this to you a couple of weeks ago, John. It would have been great if you guys did Amazing Grace, because you were doing Amazing
yeah.
Grace on the U.S. leg
Right.
at this part of the show, and it would have been awesome to have you and Teresa do it.
Definitely. There she is.
Yeah, baby.
Always smiling. Love it. She's a happy lady. Yeah.
Right now she's saying, "Would you shut the hell up?
Stop playing so many notes. I
I
want
want
to
to
sing.
shut up already."
There's some really funny footage. I don't know if it'll make it onto any of the behind the scenes stuff, but there's some funny footage of the choir watching us play Dance of Eternity from the side of the stage.
yeah.
And they just look completely dumbstruck.
Like befuddled.
They don't know where the hell one is. And like, oh, there was the always appears.
Always, it's like Superman in Seinfeld.
Like,
Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
so Teresa's like singing whole notes, and you're playing what, the 64th notes over there, buddy. That's a real Dream Theater gospel collaboration.
Oh,
that
yeah.
you got there.
The only part I kept from the original.
Oh, that's what song this is.
Right.
Here's the unfortunate feedback that was impossible to get off the master tapes.
Oh yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
just we're about to go back to the cemetery once again, but now you'll see that it's going to go from blurry to clear. Now these images will stay, and then it got put back on the shelf.
It wasn't working out.
This is probably one of the biggest riffs alive for us.
Oh, totally.
Really gets the audience going.
JP's doing the big wah-wah sound, and I got the wheel doing a major filter sweep for the wow-wow.
This is my daughter Melody's favorite song. I think all kids like this because of the wow-wow.
Right.
Lots of Metropolis references in this song, musically, lyrically. This is where we really brought the Metropolis Part 1 references really into the storyline. Swimming in a Lake of Fire from Metropolis Part 1.
Now you can hear your backgrounds on this.
Yeah, a little too loud actually. Trip's Desire, that was off of Metropolis 1. Isn't there a line in
Trip's Desire?
Oh no, Confined.
Right.
My Mind Confined.
Yeah.
Those are Metropolis references.
Do you remember what I sang there the first time? We didn't catch. I said my mind trips desire.
Oh yeah, which is pretty cool.
Right.
And this riff, even though it sounds like it's in a constant 4, is a combination of little riffs and odd times. If you know what I mean.
Once again, to be outlined on the making of the Scenes from Memory. There's some different variations of that on there. In fact, there's some versions on that of me actually playing the odd times with you.
Right.
And then I ended up just playing 4 while you shifted. All right, back to the storyline. Julian doing his thing. This whole first verse and chorus is all from Julian's perspective.
These are the reasons that him and Victoria split up. Didn't like his bumming attitude. Cool bass line.
Nice manicure there, Jordan.
Very nice.
Back to the Metropolis riffs.
Riff originally in E, now it's down a whole step in D.
Nanny nanny poo poo. Nanny nanny poo poo. Jordan Rudess action figure.
No, I mistakenly
Oh no, that's the Magic Man pose.
Yeah.
That's when I look at the audience.
Oh yeah.
I played a major there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, shouldn't have done that, but what are you gonna do?
That was on purpose, right?
Oh yeah.
There's Bear Tracks again. We're in that room, right? We're in one of those rooms right there. Another cool Videodelic effect.
Cool reference to the original Metropolis words.
That's right.
If you've ever seen The Matrix, the ending song that's being played, the Rage song, and I remember thinking that it was a cool production that they used on the guitars. And I was thinking about that when we recorded this.
I thought you were going to say that stance that James was in looked like Keanu Reeves doing like that karate move. Oh, there's a nice Luger. You notice the stage isn't that big at Roseland. I mean, it's a big room,
It
Right.
looks a lot better bigger on screen here.
but on stage you could see everybody's kind of stuck in their own little world. There wasn't
true.
so much room for running around.
No.
And this progression behind us is directly taken from Metropolis Part 1. These guys, Edward reminds me of Willem Dafoe, and Victoria reminds me of kind of like a European Winona Ryder. So if ever we get the big Hollywood version,
That's it.
that'll be the casting.
Big breakdown section here.
Very Doors, Jane's Addiction.
Many nights on tour, Mike would do the Jim Morrison imitation.
This part also features some samples that I triggered on the low keys of the keyboard that Mike and I worked very hard on to assemble.
No pun intended.
You said hard on.
By the way, James's mic fell out of the stand right there. We didn't show it, but you can hear him comment on it right here. Kevin Shirley forgot to take that out of the mix, so there it is in all its glory.
I think the way I have this set up is that I'm hitting 2 keys to trigger the samples, and one of them is the whole orgasm
Yeah,
sexual
baby.
bit, and the other is the casino.
So here you can see Julian.
Hello.
Yeah, baby.
All right.
X-rated part. of
Julian
it.
is Julian's in the casino, gambling, drinking, and meanwhile his girlfriend is having sex with his brother. And
I bet she likes shooting this part.
yeah, baby.
It's definitely the hot part.
Behave.
Oh, behave.
She looks like Katie Lang.
Yeah, she does a
Huh?
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
It looks like he does. Very cool.
Very. You can see. Yeah, that shot there. You have the Burt cam positioned on your right,
Right?
and then the cameraman on stage positioned on your left. So every once in a while, you actually could see it from both perspectives, which is pretty cool. There you go, like right there.
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite Jordan solo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
killer solo. Oh.
And we're also, the background is going between 2 different type of riffs, 2 different keys. James's hand is bleeding right now.
I tell you what, from doing that, I got such a thick callus on my hand. It was unbelievable. It was like as hard as a rock.
After a tour, it
Yeah.
probably takes a whole year to recover.
Yeah.
It's your basic riff in A.
Basic lead over on top of the riff in A.
This part's in G. Back to A.
Back to G, right?
We should be calling out the meters as we go too. Oh, that's for Dance of Eternity.
A Swimming in a Lake of Fire reference from Metropolis, obviously.
Got the little techno thing happening in the left hand.
John's dancing.
Yeah, a little hip swaying action there. My Britney moves. The serpent.
Find out.
Yeah. Gotta give the Canadian a bow.
And then I remember musically on the tracks, that drum fill that Mike did there, I wanted to do a guitar fill that would precede it, so it would sound like a call and response with the drum
So it
fill.
sounds like I'm copying you, but you're actually copying me.
Right, I'm pre-copying. I'm predicting.
That wah-wah video effect was originally assigned to my mod wheel.
Those people at Woodstock. And,
I swear to God, I was thinking the same exact thing. I totally thought that as well.
some stock footage thrown in there. By the way, Bush leads Gore 300.
Yeah, as we're recording this, we don't have a president. It's
Yeah,
the
that's right.
third day without a president-elect.
You got a little tabla thing happening underneath the notes in the keyboard.
Yeah, you got a lot of things going on
Yeah,
there.
that's my job, buddy.
This part very influenced by early Al Di Meola music.
Second
Egyptian danza.
little harmony thing here.
I remember
Back to
I
unison.
wanted LTE to do Egyptian danza. Remember, it was
Right.
one on the list of
Yeah.
possible covers.
Here's where I count. 1,
What did they want?
2,
This is 1916.
And we're not talking the year.
4. With a little extension.
Actually, we should have worked that in.
1920
One of the
section.
1, 2,
28.
3, 4. One of the 1, 2, 1, 5, 5.
A return of the beginning sample as Mike goes nuts.
Burt cam on the top.
We're trying to hold that note as long as we possibly can.
And Mike, what note is that?
Well, I guess we're landing on a D, right?
That's right.
So I guess that would be a D. Oh no, I was thinking something else.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this track, "The Dance of Eternity," has some incredibly wacky visuals.
That's very cool looking.
We went super crazy with the split screens, and I got to give a lot of credit to Chris DuPont, the editor. I mean, I had a lot of visions for the way things should look, but he's the one that had the technical abilities to bring them to life, and that was quite a job. He really went pretty nuts, especially with this track.
I remember at this point of the night I wasn't feeling well, so I sat this one out.
You originally had a yodel
Right.
That's
part
right.
to this song, right?
This song played on the 7-string guitar.
These riffs shrink as they go, and later on they grow in the opposite direction, kind of another shrink and grow approach.
By the way, when we wrote this stuff, we pretty much recorded it immediately after, because it was all written in the recording studio right here in Bear Tracks.
In
So
pieces too, like
Yep.
2 minutes here, another minute there.
It was very difficult. Took a lot of memory.
So the first time we actually played this from top to bottom was when we went on tour.
Right. Or we tried to play it.
Actually, the first time I tried to play it was when I did my instructional video, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I
it was
remember that.
impossible.
I remember we were all thinking, how the hell are we going to play this
Yeah,
live?
Exactly. Because we never actually played the whole thing together.
Right. But like anything else, you play it enough times and it comes together.
By the way, that part right there live, I'm always straining to hear the drums in sync because your low tom isn't in any of the monitors.
Actually, I should maybe I shouldn't point out, but that was my one major clam of the night right there that
Oh.
just passed. I messed that part up live. There's my wife's arm up in the VIP section. No, actually, this is it right here. There's a major drum clam here. I don't know why I'm pointing this out.
That's your inversion exercise section.
This is obviously, this was introduced in Fatal Tragedy. Some of these Meshuggah, this is the Meshuggah riffs, as we called them when we wrote it.
Action figure.
This is one of Jordan's crazy sections.
And this part actually came up. I just started to kind of do variations in the studio on some of the themes we were playing. When I did this ragtime variation, the guys went, "You got to use that." Okay.
Jordan keeps us entertained
Right.
many times by playing funny piano things.
Right. Adding a little levity to the situation.
Yeah.
This chord progression behind it is actually from Finally Free, the part with the tubular bells and stuff. It's
Right.
the same progression introduced here for the first time. Very disguised though, and obviously some crazy stuff going on
And that
top.
section, very difficult to play on
Right.
guitar.
That's how we like to torture ourselves.
Yeah.
Here's
very,
John's
very hard.
bass solo. I had to have a bass solo in tradition of the middle section of the first Metropolis.
Another Spider Fingers approach.
The Nugent section.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Thanks for.
You got it, buddy.
We introduce this
That's
riff
John's
here.
Lemmy influence, by the way. Whoa.
Ace of Spades.
How do you guys keep your leather pants clean? I don't understand that.
We don't.
Now, this part actually was a keyboard riff that I had to figure out how to play on guitar, and ended up being really easy if you inverted the notes. So I put the pedal tone below, which is that low E. Right now it's in A. Originally that pedal tone A was on top, which would have been almost impossible to do.
At this point, I'm feeling thankful that I practiced my thirds as a child. Here's where we shrink the rhythm a little bit into 7.
Gnip, gnop, gnip,
Yeah,
gnop,
gnip,
gnip,
gnop.
Back to
gnip.
6.
Anybody remember the game Gnip Gnop? Whoa.
The famous trill.
Charlie's Angels, yeah.
will return in a moment.
These are the 5s and 7 patterns from Metropolis 1. 557, 57, 557.
This is where JP has a turn at the riff.
That's right. The UK riff.
That's right.
On guitar instead of keyboards.
Little production thing here. A lot of all the effects are coming from the live rigs, and the delay section was turned up a little bit too much here.
This part is in a very strange tonality.
Jordan Rudess action figure.
Now available in stores near you for the special low price of $9.99.
This is from the original 96 version. Jordan snapping.
Conducting.
Yeah, just for the record, it's been mentioned in many interviews, but a lot of this and also One Last Time and Overture were from the original 96 Metropolis 2. Get asked that a lot, so might as well put it on record right here.
Now, up to this point on tour, I think we were playing a couple of these notes differently from each other, right?
Right, that's right.
I think it's on the album differently. Or it
I'm
might be.
I'm not sure how that got resolved.
Yeah.
This is like the Rush section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Free will.
Yeah.
Take off! It's a big neck.
That 7-string neck.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so now we're in One Last Time, and this is supposed to be our break after the music madness of Dance of Eternity, but of course Jordan couldn't control his fingers for too long.
Hey, for 8 measures I did.
There he goes.
At least they worked. That's something that was developed on the tour, a little unison rhythm thing between me and Mike. There you go, Fuzz Lucky. I snuck in the arpeggio.
Oh, some feedback.
Yeah. We could have taken that out, but it's kind of real sounding. So
That's another little thing we developed to play this part on live shows, to play this part without
Yeah,
vocals.
I've seen on the internet a lot of people thinking that you forgot your cue, James,
Yeah.
but this was actually intentional, just to have a little breathing space
Right,
before the
right.
vocals come back in.
We were doing it for quite some time too. You think they would have caught on, and
Right.
you know.
So at this point, Nicholas's quest to find out how his past life, Victoria, was murdered.
Well, actually, what you're seeing right here is Victoria breaking up with Edward, and then so this One Last Time is actually referring to Edward and Victoria's relationship, and you know that they're
Right.
breaking up, and she wants to go back to Julian.
Also, when these lines "one last time" and all of that is when they're actually the fact that they were being found together, dead.
No, but that's in Finally Free. And this one is them breaking up one last time, and then later on, it's coming from a different perspective.
Okay, I was just talking about at one point when I was writing these lyrics. That's what I was thinking. But you're right. This is later on in Finally Free.
So when it reappears later, it's a whole different perspective on
Right on the lyrics.
yeah.
So now we have a reestablishing of a theme from Overture
Right.
over here.
Back to the little visuals that were extracted from the cover.
Now they're clear as opposed to being blurred out like they were earlier.
Here's a big sort of extension or almost a reharmonization of the original chorus from Strange Deja Vu.
Right. Takes a little extra turn.
Takes a turn, and it's supposed to mirror
Right
the
here,
ending of Metropolis chordally. The ending of the original Metropolis.
It's all so confusing.
Are we making any sense here?
Only we understand what the hell we're talking about.
Right.
This end section I love. I love the harmonization of it and the progression.
It's very triumphant.
This was actually written in '96, and I remember when we were writing Hell's Kitchen, I was suggesting that let's try to get something that has this majestic finale, and we kind of modeled the end of Hell's Kitchen after this, even though Hell's Kitchen was released
Right.
a few years earlier.
Now the house that's mentioned is actually was Edward Bain's house,
Right.
where the affairs actually went on, where he used to meet Victoria and have the affairs. So Nicholas in present day knows that was something funky that went on up in the room inside that house.
I got to point out that those images, once again, the cemetery scenes, but now they went from black and white into color, which brings us into Nicholas's present day, and now the cemetery scenes are in color. Obviously, very Roger Waters influence on this track. On the album, it doesn't even sound like it's really James's voice. It sounds like it's lowered, but it's really it.
Go ahead.
That's the opening chord progression that's come full circle now.
Regression. It's also introduced before Through Her Eyes.
Yeah, it's behind the solo that Teresa and I did.
It's also what's on the record at the end of the album, Nicholas's theme, that's played when Nicholas puts the record on the turntable.
Wrote the words to this in the shopping center of ShopRite, in the parking lot of ShopRite, when I was driving home from Bear Tracks one day.
You never know where inspiration is going to strike.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
I had nothing to write it down on.
This is where John and I look at each other to establish the tempo.
That's right.
Make sure everything is cool.
This is one of my favorite shots coming up here. You could see somebody in the audience play air drums to my fill, which enters. So right there, next to James's nose. Whoever you are, dude, that was excellent. That was awesome.
Here's that same guitar trick again. Electric coming in on the volume pedal.
Hear it again.
Almost every night, James would tell me that my fills were too loud, and it would blow you away.
It was just because
But that's the guitar player's job, right?
this
Play
whole
loud.
section was I'm singing soft, and just the stage volume was a little overcoming.
And why are you holding your
Come on,
ear?
James.
Is
What
that
makes
a-
you say
Because
that?
then I could actually center in on my notes and
Okay.
hear my voice in my head
Ooh.
You have voices in your head?
all the time.
Man.
We'll talk about that afterwards. Maybe you should see our psychiatrist.
So Nicholas is saying
see
in this
Kent.
song
Yeah,
that
right,
he,
exactly.
he feels comfortable knowing that his spirit will carry on.
He's
This
accepting.
is where I switched to Oregon.
I love this sign. Whoever wrote this in the audience too, this ruled as well. We'll miss you, Victoria. I remember seeing that from the stage. I
That's
thought that
great.
was awesome. And then this part is amazing.
Little screw up on the words
Yeah.
there. But she had no rehearsal either.
I had chills, man, when that happened. I think everybody in the audience, man, it just was a major electricity going on at this point.
And we were on tour this whole... Mike, I just want to say one thing. You were sleeping when I recorded this solo. In the
Sleeping?
front.
In the front
In the
lo-
lounge.
of the Bear Tracks,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you woke up and I said, I'm done. And you said, you did the whole thing?
Yeah. I remember the day you recorded the solo. This was a really cool vibe. Searching for that ultimate Petrucci
Yeah.
Gilmore mixture.
Right. You also helped me with some of the notes I was landing on that
My
were a little
pleasure.
funk me. Little funk me?
Funky.
Little funky.
Is that the same as on the album? That little part there?
No,
Is that
no.
changed?
That's changed.
You could hear the crowd start to roar because the choir's getting into position. And then
No, we
you could
we
actually
had
see them up
no
there.
production rehearsal for this except for the afternoon of this show. So I remember setting up the choir. They're originally going to stand in front of my amplifiers,
Yes.
which wouldn't have been a good idea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was rehearsing the choir backstage
For
before
both.
this began. It was
They're
pretty,
standing
it was,
above.
It was pretty interesting.
You would have been blowing them away, and they would have been obstructing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the sound.
it really
And they
wouldn't have been great. I'm
No,
glad it
they
worked.
also had, got to hand it to our crew, they had no monitors. But I brought up that they need a way to hear themselves sing, and they hustled and got monitors up there.
The choir part, the actual notes were written on the floor of the living room at Bear Tracks, away from the keyboard, because they were coming that day, and it was something that needed to happen. So when they got there, it was the first time I got to check out how it sounded.
Jordan wrote the choir part and conducted it in the studio.
This is really amazing. I mean,
This is the true vibe part.
This was amazing. Like, I was just totally lifted,
Yeah.
at this point. Just having her right beside me and us both vibing off this
Yeah.
whole section. It was just incredible.
really, that was I think this is the pinnacle of Dream Theater's career. This moment right here. I mean, really,
great.
this was. I love that shot of you, Jordan. Look at them, and then there's a shot of John swinging around.
We're jamming with the choir.
Yeah, it's great.
Great. But I mean, this to me was just like the ultimate.
Yeah, here's where it
Yeah,
really
it's very
kicks in.
spiritual. And we wanted to, this song is probably one of our best live songs. Our audience is always with us on this.
By the way, John, you were wondering where your chicken franchise went.
Yes.
Oh, I think there's your answer.
Absolutely. Now, this was also the song where, when our show got pulled in Los Angeles,
Oh, right.
The riot.
they pulled us. The fire marshal pulled the show in the middle of this song, and
dare they?
it was a great moment. The audience was singing this entire thing
Yep.
while we played without a
Right.
PA.
Right. They turned off our PA and they kept singing anyway.
That's great.
Yeah.
Spirit carries on, Bongo.
It's amazing what a couple of simple chords can accomplish.
I just had chills during that. It was
That was magical.
really the ultimate presentation of.
So now-
Absolutely.
Now, this was a little extension on the whole thing so they could change the scene.
Yeah, because we wanted the choir up above, the
And also the hit. This is followed by the hypnotherapist
Right.
being in place, so we had to get the choir down and get the hypnotherapist
up.
and the couch and James back up.
Right. And I remember telling Teresa, you're going to have to sing as long as it takes. And then, at this point, very soon she's about to stop, which turned into a little extra
this was a
jam.
cool moment, though. This was
Yeah.
improvised.
Yeah,
and this
totally.
was cool.
Totally improvised.
Yeah, when me and John jump in, that was not supposed to happen.
It's even more than improvised. We knew about this improvisation, but we didn't know.
Well, we
you
didn't
guys
know
were
about
gonna
this.
Come in.
Yeah, we just
Right,
felt
exactly.
that they were taking so long to change sets. I realized after doing this, that was why, you see in Broadway shows, they have the little tags at the end of the songs.
Yeah.
When the chorus comes back in or whatever. And I always thought that was just a cheesy Broadway thing, but
But now you know what?
it's to change sets and lighting and things like that.
It totally has the Otis Redding vibe, man.
Otis, I thought it has Otis Day and the Nights vibe.
This is just a little trio performance at this point. Piano, drums, guitar.
That was a cool moment.
Nice glittery
That's
guitar,
called
Tom.
teamwork. We knew we had something to accomplish
We
there.
had to do something. That's right.
And that's a hidden communication that comes from a band being together for a long time.
You are once again surrounded by a brilliant.
All right, relax, Popeye.
He's supposed to be like a hypnotherapist. He sounds like he's like a screaming general in the Navy or something like that.
He's got to chill out, man.
Slowly fade back into consciousness, remembering
Funny thing that the guys pointed out to me is also when we were writing this, and I was doing some research for these hypnotic
Right.
sections. I was listening to hypnosis
As you were
regression
driving,
tapes
right?
As I was driving from Rockland County to Long Island,
It's a good thing you survived to play the show.
and
Man.
I remember Jordan saying when Man, don't listen to that.
Yeah,
while
right.
you're
Doesn't it
driving.
say on the actual CDs, do not listen to while you're driving?
What's the matter with you?
Would have been the ones who helped us set the sun. This is the only footage I'm not crazy about, but there's this handheld vibe right here.
Yeah.
But you know, you gotta work with what you got, I suppose. There was actually another handheld shot at the beginning of that sequence, which I took out. But here we go. Jordan, your expressions go through many different phases right here.
In this
You went
section.
from intense to happy.
Man, you're happy.
Wait a second. I'm too happy. Better be serious.
These chords are minor. I better get serious. But when the thunder starts happening, you know things change.
Now, really, Spirit Carries On is the ending of the story, and this entire Finally Free piece really is going back in time to 1928. And now this entire song is telling the story as it actually happened. So up until the end of Spirit Carries On, you think that the story went the way that it was told to Beyond This Life, but now we're actually showing you what really happened. There's Edward. This is actually after the crime, Friday evening. He's thinking back to what he just saw. He saw Julian and Victoria. He's the sole survivor. That's him running away from the scene of the crime. So this whole song is almost like a twist. He's actually writing a fake suicide note, and he's going to plant it in Julian's pocket to make it look like it was a suicide.
Musically, this is Jordan Rudess flavor, and
Actually,
it's very different than a lot of the, stylistically than what we've done. So it's a good indication of some of the stuff that Jordan's brought in as a new member.
Actually, I've been playing the chords to this downstairs in the living room at Bear Tracks, and James just come into the room and he started singing the line that I play over the chords, not
Right.
his vocal line that came later.
I remember the music for this was written in a very different way. We didn't even stay, like I wasn't even behind the drums. We all just gathered around the keyboard and arranged it around the keyboard.
Right.
Sequenced the whole thing. In fact, I think I'm going to use that music somewhere on the DVD. It was like a sequencer demo that you laid down from the arrangement that we worked out together, and then we tried to play it as a band.
Oh, cool. That's the melody. John is now playing.
Right.
That's what the one James
Right.
sang.
I remember you asked me on my way to the washroom.
Yeah.
And I said, wait a minute, let me think about it.
You're
And
right,
I
it
came
came
back
out,
and
it
I
was
sang
like-
it. Yeah.
Now that's a
Right,
cool
exactly.
kind of call and response thing. The way the melody on the guitar
Exactly.
happens and then the vocal happens. That's
It's totally cool.
Thank God we're almost at the end because I got to pee really bad.
I'm first.
So now we're going to see the witness, the murder scene and witness it with our own eyes.
It's Betty Boop.
Oh, B major, second inversion. E. That's it.
By the way, as I look over at Doug Oberkirker, Doug
He's in position, rocking back and forth.
He is.
That's right.
And Doug did engineer
Checking
and
it out.
record this entire project.
He was with us the whole
Incredibly.
step. Every step of the way.
Using the famous Kurzweil church bells in this section.
Now this is the progression that was introduced earlier in Dance of Eternity.
I think this was
Out of the bass solo.
I think these bass notes were a JM contribution.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember thinking very Metallica here.
Right, we were
Yeah.
discussing. I wanted to play all these different variations of the bells. You
What's
guys were
that?
saying, no, repeat it.
It's been pointed out that gun did not exist in 1928. Like I said, you work with what you got. That voice, by the way, Open Your Eyes, Victoria, is David Botrill. Right? Is that the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
David
is.
Botrill who did some of the original mixes. Did the mix on this song that's on the album. So what you're actually seeing is that Julian and Victoria were reconciling their relationship. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And Edward, who's jealous, stumbled upon it and shot Victoria. And then after fighting with... shot... I'm confused. What the hell just happened?
He killed Victoria and then he killed.
Right, and then shot Julian.
bass she's
Yeah.
making.
And then ran away, and then later on sets it up like a suicide.
Right. So the newspaper was wrong.
And we're the only ones that know what actually happened. Very Marillion type guitar melody and progression behind it. It's also a theme from Overture.
play the highest note on the guitar at this point.
And that is F sharp.
That is F sharp.
It's F
Yeah.
sharp. I remember when I was playing these chords in the studio. At first, you guys looked at me like, "What's that all about?"
Yeah,
Took
yeah.
a
Reminds
while.
me of,
and then finally said, "Yeah, I guess that's pretty good."
Right.
Reminds me of Counting Out Time by Genesis from Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
It's another half diminished.
So now the guitar is playing the accompaniment to the vocal as opposed to the keyboard, the first chorus.
Also the acoustic
Yeah,
setting on the guitar. And actually you can see you
special
switching. Check it out. You can see you
Yeah.
switch pickups right here.
The top switch does it.
Go.
That's it.
That's Swift.
That is Swift. You must practice, man.
Oh yeah, that took
yeah.
a lot of practice.
Oh yeah.
I'm also at that point I had the volume pedal to the guitar down, so I'm switching, bringing the volume pedal up.
Here's your little extension here.
I like this last shot of Victoria. This is the only shot of Victoria in the whole video where she's in color,
Yeah,
sort of to symbolize they're kind of in heaven together. You know, they're well, she's she's in heaven and he's kind of accepted her as kind of angelic in the present day.
The the samples that are actually being triggered by velocity on my keyboard. If I hit the
This-
keys hard, that
this-
comes in.
That is the one that bothers me. Actually, now that you're pointing it out, that one was a little out.
Can we go back and redo it?
Now this is
It's a little late.
a big drum improv section, and we're keeping time here by kind of motion. You see us
That's
rocking
right.
back and forth.
We're not just rocking. We're actually
Yeah.
cueing each other where we think we are against Mike's
got-
drum soloing.
Tambourine, the guitar neck, and then you can't see Jordan right now, but he's kind of there. He is. There's a lot of body motion.
A lot of body motion.
Because
yeah.
Mike is just in his own world and listening to us.
Actually, Mike, you were really on. What's happening?
This is always hit or miss, this section, for me, with the solos. I've had some real bad nights with it too.
Well, I'm glad you were on that night.
Yeah, it's all that
That's
matters.
important.
This also musically, to me, is very Zappa or even Holdsworth when they just kind of repeat a section, the drummer would go off.
And actually, each time we repeat, we step through. I know on the guitar, you're stepping
Yeah.
through different sounds, adding more harmony.
Yeah.
And I'm stepping through different patches, kind of
Yep.
doing the same thing.
We're all
adding more
building.
sounds.
That's a harmonizer doing those harmonies. Diatonic harmonizer.
I did that. It's your highest harmony, right?
Yeah.
So that means that's the cue that there's two left.
Yeah, we also use those as cues.
Here's the last set right here.
I remember when you recorded that one drum thing there, you weren't sure if you liked it or not.
Yeah, and then now it's the only one that I actually consistently do from night to
Yeah.
night. And that's Rio from Spock's Beard's favorite. Okay, now this is a little tag that we wrote for the tour, utilizing the ending of One Last Time as well as Metropolis themes and stuff.
Another vocal melody on guitar.
That's from Metropolis, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Now it goes into One Last Time, right?
Yeah. So instead of the guitar playing the high melody, the guitar is playing a rhythm part now.
And I'm doing like a piano thing, and on the top couple octaves, I have a lead sound. And back to the chimes effect. Timpani.
welcome to Okay, children in Japan, get your goggles out. Because this is the King Mami Wami of all strobe montages here. This is the grand finale, and fasten your seatbelts right here. Close your eyes, kids. Boom.
Very evil descending notes on the guitar and rising notes on the keyboard there. Hey, what are you doing there, Jordan?
I'm doing like a timpani roll, actually.
Oh.
A two-fingered roll on one note. That's pretty cool.
Three
Oh, three.
fingers, yeah. I'll show you it after we finish.
Okay, well, this is the closing scene.
Lights out.
So, maybe this is obvious, but the video was shot to the sound effects.
And all of these sound effects were just separate things that Mike and I actually put together on my Kurzweil.
A lot of work. It sounds simple, but every single sound you're hearing is a separate entity.
Crickets were separate, footsteps, all of it. Doors.
And these footsteps, while we're speaking of footsteps, I always hated these footsteps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he had sand on his floor.
And actually, if I recall, I've only seen this about 300 times, but I think the Martha's. Okay, there it is. There's the Martha's Vineyard reference is actually on this version, and it's not on the
wow,
album.
weird. Okay. And this was what we were up at Electric Ladies.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
creating the sound effects, and we wanted to have something from the TV to show that it was in present day because there was no lyric sheet, and we wanted to record the TV, and it just happened to be the same day that JFK Jr.'s plane was missing.
Right.
So that's what
Brought
that
a
is.
microphone into the little room and recorded the television.
We didn't want to get political or anything, but it was the only thing on the news. And no matter what channel you went to, the JFK thing.
It was really cool. So this is present day. This is Nicholas chilling out with a drink, putting on once again. This is the reoccurring theme from Regression and Spirit Carries On and beginning of Finally Free.
It was originally the album opener.
Yeah.
This music, but
Right.
that was changed.
This was all done on the synthesizer, actually trying to make it sound really, really old.
Well, I mean, we're kind of spelling out what happened right there. That's the hypnotherapist coming up behind Nicholas and doing damage. You got to watch that in freeze frame if you want to see what really happened. But
So that they sometimes say, again, when researching the reincarnation thing, that people sometimes, what's the word? They migrate towards each other that might have been from the same life. So the therapist was actually Edward reincarnated, and Nicholas was Victoria reincarnated. They somehow found each other.
and
For the worse, actually.
well, it was kind of like the only person on Earth that really knew what happened in 1928 was the hypnotherapist, I
Right.
suppose, because he was and I guess he was scared that Nicholas was going to find out. So anyway, this music that you're hearing in the background is actually an alternate version of Through Her Eyes, which wasn't used on the album. When we were writing Through Her Eyes, we had a long version and a short version. It was the working title was Titanic, so there was a short Titanic and a long Titanic. What you're hearing right now is the long Titanic, and it's a different progression right here, a different chord right there.
B minor.
Oh, actually, I don't know if we're going to be in sync on the final DVD, but
Oh, well.
Look at all the tour managers, guys.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so there's some different things going on in this version, and this was never used. We never even recorded vocals or wrote lyrics to it. But I actually preferred this version. It had some real Procol Harum sort of chord changes and stuff like that.
The version that ended up on the record was very, very much influenced by the
Bruce?
theme from Jerry Maguire.
What is it, Silent Garden? Is that the name of it?
Secret Garden.
Secret Garden.
Yeah, the production of it.
And the arrangement.
Yeah.
Well, that's it,
That's
boys.
great.
That's it.
Very
That's
All right,
fun to
guys.
watch.
Very, very nice.
Very cool to have captured that
Yes,
on
it was.
film, and
It was a memorable
was
evening. in
absolutely.
many ways.
And for
something
those of
for
you,
us all to be proud of.
for those of you watching the DVD, obviously, if you're listening to our voices right now, you are watching the DVD. There's lots of other footage from the second set at Roseland
Oh, cool.
that's on here, and
Which we haven't seen yet, or some of us haven't.
but it was a great night.
Yes.
It really
Except for
was.
the ending when you were puking and dying.
Yeah, right.
I wish we.
When I went back and my chicken franchise wasn't
right.
there and my penny
There
a la
were a
vodka.
few disappointments at the end, but all in all, it was a great night.
Yes.
So thanks for sticking with us all this time. If you guys are still listening out there in DVD land, and
Thanks
This
to
is-
you all.
the last gathering of Dream Theater for the year 2000, guys, it's been a great year. Thank
Yes.
you, everybody out there that made it such a great and memorable tour for us.
Yes, and thank you for not only the people that came in for the show that night, but for all of our New York hometown fans for selling out Roseland twice on this tour.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool.
I remember the first time we were booked at Roseland, I was skeptical how we would do.
right.
And it was such a great achievement to sell that place out. It was really awesome.
So thank you.
It's a great feeling.
See you next time.
See ya.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.